All right, next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to mount our breadboard into place. To do this, we're going to get into our base.3 kit, and we should find 4 7/8" flathead screws. We should find 4 white spacers to go along with those. And finally, we should have ourselves 4 nuts to hold it all into place of the 440 variety. How this thing works is we're going to take up the breadboard itself, and you'll notice it has double-sided sticky tape. We don't recommend you use this for actually applying it because it's a one-time use. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to poke these through like so, making sure that the screws come all the way through in all 4 holes. If you'll notice what I'm doing with my thumbs, I'm bracing around where the bolt comes through. If I don't do that, I run the risk of the bolt actually pushing the tape off, and that would make a not good solution for us. So I'll go ahead and get all these in place here. You can kind of see it starting to try to push away right there, so holding it is important. And then we repeat for the 4th and final screw. Now we know that all of them have holes through the system. They're good to go. Additionally for this, we're going to need some standoffs. These standoffs are important because in the basic design, the bolts here that hold down the battery holder are a little too tall, and since we're going to put this board over this region right here, we need to be able to bridge over that. So we're going to add these nylon spacers that you're so familiar with, this 3/16 clearance for number 4 screws. Then we're going to line the 2 things up. And this is kind of a little complicated, but essentially the goal is to get all of the things in at once. Once it's in place, we push them all down and snug them. Then we look to the back side, and we can actually mount our nuts to the back. Now, this order of operations isn't the most ideal because, as you can see, some of those spots in the back are really hard to reach, like right here underneath my thumb, with the motors in place. So you may not want to go in the order of operations that we just did, but it is up to you. Additionally, whoops, I don't want to drop those out. This board right here can't be used easily at the same time as the analog board, which would mount here. The exception, of course, would be to elevate the analog board quite high using some standoffs, but that's not standard for the system. Instead, you can put the analog up on a second layer if you wanted to, or use the analog or the prototyping board separately rather than both at once. And so that's essentially how we mount the breadboard, the prototyping board, to the system.